Cystinosis is a rare disease that affects every cell in the body. It slowly and eventually destroys the kidneys, eyes, liver, muscle, and central nervous system. I have cystinosis. My parents were told that I would not live to graduate from high school, but the doctors were so wrong. It does not define me, it does not make me weak. Cystinosis has made me stronger. There are people in their 20s who have recently died from cystinosis. I am 25 years old, and I often think about how long I have to live. I am praying for a cure for all of us.
It's not the name of a disease. It's you see faces, you see the patients, you see the parents, you see their fears and the hope. I always think about them, and this is why we want to do our best.
Brooke is full of energy. She's courageous, she's strong, and she just lights up a room. You can't miss her.
I had a really tough time with the diagnosis. I got a 2-minute phone call from a doctor telling me, "I'm sorry, your daughter has an incurable disease." Literally within an hour of getting the call from the doctor, I picked up the phone and called the CRF. It just instantly made me feel like I wasn't alone.
A group of doctors came into the room, and literally our hearts dropped, Lauren and I, that we found out that our kid had cystinosis. We immediately went online and found out that it was a terminal disease. And at that point, we both went to tears.
I absolutely grieved this diagnosis. And I remember asking the question, is Landon going to be able to go to school? It's because I didn't know what cystinosis meant. I never heard of it before. Most parents say, I will do anything for my child. Give this to me, let me do this. I would feel better if it were me with cystinosis than my baby.
For children like Brooke and Landon, the management of their condition is really a 24-hour-a-day job. The parents have to become expert pharmacists. They have to be expert nurses. The children often get a gastrostomy tube, which is a tube that provides a direct access through the stomach wall into the stomach. And so the parents start giving medications through this piece of plastic that their child wasn't born with. So the parents have a tremendous learning curve where they're picking up all sorts of medical knowledge and nursing knowledge to look after their child as best they can.
Brooke takes about 20 doses of medication a day, and that's throughout the 24-hour period in a day. The poor kid hasn't had a full night's sleep ever in her entire life because I do have to wake her up to take her life-saving medication.
Everything takes a lot of energy. His body is just dragging along, and his teacher said that she notices that at some point during the day, it's almost as if he's willing his body to go.
With cystinosis, in spite of taking the medication well, many, if not all of these children and adults have muscle weakness, which can be slowed with the medication but may not be stopped. And so this progressive muscle weakness makes it harder and harder to do things which are just everyday activities like speaking clearly, even swallowing liquids.
My biggest fear now is that I might lose my eyesight. It is hard for me to take hourly eye drops, but when I think of children like Landon and Brooke and how hard it must be for them, I realize how much we need new treatments.
These cystine crystals begin to build up in the cornea, which is very bad because your cornea, not only is it a highly sensitive tissue, but it's the window to the rest of your eye. And so you really want to remove those crystals and allow that completely transparent window to let light in. So we are using a material called a thermoresponsive hydrogel. This material starts as a liquid at room temperature, and when you heat it up to body temperature, it turns into a solid. And we can use that to our advantage because it goes in like a liquid drop and it collects right in here. And the change in temperature causes it to turn to a solid depot. And it just rests there for the full course of drug administration. So in the case of cysteamine, for 1 week at a time, and then you actually manually remove it and put a new one in. And I'm liking what we're seeing, And with the grant funding from CRF, I think that that's only going to continue apace. And I think that within 2 years that we will have it in some patients.
What we're really hoping for is the research that the Cystinosis Research Foundation is supporting in gene therapy, the research of Dr. Shirky, which hopefully soon will be able to take stem cells from the blood of these patients, correct the defect in the test tube, grow up the healthy stem cells, and then give them back to the patients, and hopefully cure the disease. That's the goal.
So how do you fix a gene in all tissues? I was lucky enough that the Cystinosis Research Foundation trusted me enough to give me money to start this bone marrow stem cell and gene therapy project for cystinosis. And now we are really close to go to clinical trial. It will be huge for cystinosis, but if it's a success, it will be also huge for many disorders. We are really very close every day. It's one more step forward, and I really have good hope that in 2017 we will have a clinical trial open.
If we really figure out how to do it right, to really cure cystinosis, we could rapidly turn this into cures for many other genetic diseases, blood diseases, certain cancers, diseases of growth, diseases of even potentially diabetes. So if we can bring this to the finish line, we can then show the way to maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of other genetic diseases. So this could be a real benefit to mankind.
My hope for Brooke is that she can one day, look back and we have to remind her about the disease she once had. That's my biggest hope.
I know with the help of the CRF that there's no doubt in my mind that there will be a cure for this disease for my son.
I was almost 12 years old when I made my wish to have my disease go away forever. With researchers like Dr. Shirky and others, I believe we will find a cure for cystinosis. I want to thank Cystinosis for letting me see the beauty in life and for allowing me to see the beauty in every person who was affected by this disease. We always have each other to lean on, and we have hope that the cure will be found soon. I really believe that we are one step closer. Thank you for never giving up.